Hello. Welcome back. So, I'm going to be continuing what I started last week. The Norn Assimilator. Making sure I got all my parts out. Let's see here. So last week I did the skin and some of this carapace. Just getting some of our base tones down. Also did a little bit of blending of this pink color into some parts of the skin to give it some variety. So we're going to continue that, and I think we're going to go right into painting some of the... Maybe we'll go in on some of the brain details on the back here. So I laid a base coat of that down, and now we're going to add some purple and some depth to that. Ooh, that's very yellow. See if I can't fix that. There we go. Oh my gosh, I need a new mouse. This mouse just keeps multiple clicking every time I click. So that's bad mouse. It's time for a new one. Alright. Sorry I'm a little late. I'll try to get right on time next time. I said 7 o'clock and I was 7:10. We're getting started, but here we are. So we're going to paint some of the brain details here. I had laid down an initial color of Slaanesh Gray. So now I'm going to go over that with wash. I'm going to go over with Druchii Violet, or Druchii. Druchii? I don't know how you say it. I'll give that a good shake. And I'll grab a shade brush. And we're gonna just purple up those brains. I want it to be pretty heavy in the cracks, so I'm applying this pretty heavily. And it's not a horrible big deal if I get it all over the carapace, because I'm going over that with a lighter color. Alright, so hopefully this music isn't too loud. So what I'm hearing might not necessarily be what you're hearing. I think it's okay. Alright, so already that's starting to look much more brain-like and interesting. Okay. Wash up my brush, and I think we're going to move on to the carapace next. So I'm going to go back to my big brush. There's a lot of carapace to paint, and I'm going to be going over everything. So I did Incubi Darkness as a base coat, and I'm going to be going over it with Thunderhawk Blue. I'll lighten it up quite a bit. Give that a good shake. Alright, so just gonna put some of this on the palette. And I'm gonna close my paint pot. Add a little bit of water. I think I'm gonna start on the legs here while that shade dries a little bit more. And we're just gonna carefully layer this on. I pretty much want to go over everywhere, but I can leave some of the Incubi Darkness under there so we can see this. So my smaller Tyranids, I usually just do the Thunderhawk Blue right over the black primer, but since this is a creature character model, I thought I'd kind of take it one step further so you can see that darker base coat underneath. This is actually layering on quite nicely. If I can get this to focus. Yes, it's the right consistency too. Wow, this is going on real nicely. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out already. Just gonna layer that on. Yeah, so normally on the gaunts and stuff like that, I'll go over this right over the black. It takes a couple coats, but you get a very nice smooth base coat of the Thunderhawk, and then I go over that with a Norn oil wash to kind of... Oh, I made a mistake! It's okay, I'll just use my shade brush with some water. It's still nice and wet, so I can just wick that out of there. There we go. It's like it never happened. And just continuing on to Carapace. Yeah, so I normally just do a non-oil wash over everywhere to kind of darken up a little bit, and that looks fine too. But I think layering over a darker color kind of gives it a unique look. Smoother variations between the light and the dark. Just going to go all the way down. Get this side too. Oh yeah, that's looking real nice. Get this to focus. There we go. Look at that. Some nice blending in there. I'm happy with that. Wash off my brush, and we'll do the other side of the legs. Add a little bit of water to my palette mixture here. Make sure we get the right consistency still. And we'll just come down the front side. This is a little tricky because I'm holding it so you can see it on camera nicely, but a little awkward angle for me to paint. But seems to be working out just fine. And if you're watching this after I stream, because this is going up on the channel, thanks for watching. I know we're a little small yet and still growing, so yeah, hoping to do a Slay the Gray hobby hangout live stream every Monday evening. It's the evening where I'm at right now. But yeah, this time every Monday. Just check out the community tab of the channel. I will post if I'm streaming that day or if the schedule has changed. You'll find the updated schedule there. Also trying to step up a bit on posting videos. So if you've just stumbled upon this stream, I do. We actually do, because I have some friends that help me out with this. We do battle reports, kill team, Warhammer 40k, a little bit of some old specialist games. Battlefleet Gothic has made an appearance. Also looking to branch into some other miniature war games. So if there's any that you would like to see that don't get much love on YouTube, let me know. Maybe that'll be a game system I'll check out and feature. But yeah, primary focus is Warhammer 40k. It's kind of just what I'm interested in. The setting, the game, the models. I have collecting a couple factions. But yeah, it's all on the channel. You can see that. We also do some cool narrative games. So we write our own rules and play some narrative scenarios. This big one that just went up for Halloween. It's the City of the Living Dead. A lot of fun. Check that one out. Yeah, so just bringing up the color here on the carapace. Gonna carefully get in here on the legs. Oh, it feels good to be painting. I haven't painted in a week, believe it or not. Got a backlog of videos I'm working on, so a lot of the free time is going into editing and updating some stuff for the channel. So we recently rebranded. Now, instead of Big Nerds Never Tire, which is kind of a niche joke on a 40k rule, we changed it to Big Nerds Wargaming. Just a little bit more general, wargaming focused, less 40k niche. Not that we're drifting from 40k at all. Definitely, it's still primary game system we feature. But just generalizing and looking for some channel growth. So gonna try to get new video up. I'm looking for a schedule of every other week. I think that should be realistic with my life schedule and other commitments, as well as live streaming, painting, or hobbying every Monday. It's all about finding that sustainable pace. Month of October, we published a few more videos than normal. It's kind of to help jumpstart the channel after taking a little bit of a hiatus for the month of September. Get some activity going. Get us promoted a little bit more by the old YouTube algorithm. So hopefully that has helped, which it has a little bit. But yeah, hoping get some more traction as the weeks and months go on. Just trying to also keep a more consistent schedule. I'm just going over some spots where it looks a little thin, and I want the Thunderhawk blue to stand out just a little bit more. Cover up some of that darker incubi darkness. Yeah, I'm liking how this is turning out. I think it's gonna take less Nuln Oil than I normally do, without having that when I normally do without that base coat. So this is turning out real nice. Now I also painted the Norn Emissary about a month ago, and this one's been sitting here waiting for its paint job. Oh, I missed a spot with the gray on the tail. It's still black. I'll have to go back in there and paint that. That's alright. Tyranids, you always miss a claw somewhere. But yeah, I'm really liking these new Tyranids. They're very cool models. Long overdue for a little bit of a refresh. Although I'm a fan of the old Hormagaunts. I think they look great still. The new ones look pretty good too, but the old Hormagaunts, the old Gene Stealers, I don't know, they have that classic look, or maybe I'm just a little nostalgic, but I think they look great. It's less jarring than some other refreshes where you put the new one next to the old one and it's like, okay, clearly the new ones, you know, you'd always want to collect the new ones. But I think the old Tyranids still look pretty good, and which is good because there are a lot of old sculpts on the second-hand market that I'm sure a lot of people are trying to unload for cheap. So if you're building a Tyranid force, I think some of the old models are still good enough to buy, collect, and paint, especially if you're looking for a discount. So I'm going on the base here and doing the same on the carapace on these sport chimneys. Should add a little bit of water in here. I think it's just a hair too thick. There you go. Keep adding all these bits to the base. Gone are the times of simple flat bases which you have to kind of figure out how to base yourself. Which is good and a bad thing, you know. I like some of this extra stuff, but if you want just kind of a simple base with some ground texture, it's not really an option for you anymore, because they're usually dynamically posed on the stuff where you have to find the right height replacement bits, like some rocks and things like that. But overall, I like the changes. It's good stuff. Very fun and exciting bases. Alright, I'll let that dry. Wash out my brush. What's the lore with this one? That is funny. I I'm bad. I haven't read all the lore. I know it's a new creature, but it's like it's supposed to be like an elite killer to assassinate a big, strong target and kind of send it out there. And that's its sole purpose. It's bred for one thing, to kill its target. So it's not really a commander or leader. It's just kind of like a special adversary. But yes, there's some new lore I need to read up on. Like a poser Tyranid fan. I don't know the latest lore on the new creatures. It's just so hard to keep up on everything. He's a big bully dog that norms. Norn, not Norma. Messing with me, Avery. Is the audio okay? Hopefully the furnace isn't too loud. It's the furnace fan running. Also, hopefully the music isn't too loud. Can you hear the music this time? And if so, is it too loud? Am I too quiet? Let me know. Noms, you pleb. I mean, audio's good. Good. I guess it is kind of noms, because the Tyranids do eat. The meme is they're the hungry army, and they just eat things. Because they travel from planet to planet and consume all life and biomass, and then move on to the next one. So you could call it the Norn Assimilator. Good. That means the noise filter is doing its work, and the furnace fan is being cut out. That's good. Happy to hear. So I think the head might need a second coat, but I'm just going to let that dry. I think the legs are done, at least with the carapace. Get the carapace on the scything talons. Very carefully. Trying to stay away from that gray. There you go. I think I got the lighting a little bit better this time too. Have the big light over that way, behind the camera. You can see the colors a little bit more because I know this guy's a little bit on the darker side. Wash out my brush. So I think on these hands, I can make these sacks look like they're toxin. It's got some poisonous, toxic claws. It's probably in the lore too, which I wouldn't know because I haven't read it yet. Too much lore, such little time. Between gaming and models, life, sleep, work. How's his head looking? It's still a little wet. Wait for that to dry. We'll do this big chunkus. Be a little careful so I don't get it all over the brains. Just gonna carefully go around the brains, not ruin what I just did. There we go. Down in here. Carefully go around the brains. Some of these new models, they make them hard to paint. I was assembling the Terminator librarian, and it's impossible to assemble him without his head. The way the pieces go together, the head is stuck inside this little hood, which is going to make it really hard to paint. While the other Terminators, you can throw their heads on after the fact. So you can do them in sub-assemblies, but not the Librarian Terminator. So I actually ended up not gluing it together so I can fit the pieces together once I'm done painting it. Alright. Gonna get other side locked in. And need some more paint on my palette here. Two brush loads ought to be enough. Some water mixed in there. And right back at it. this paint, I think I got the right consistency, maybe a little on the thin side. That just means I'll have to do another coat. But better to have a little too thin than a little too thick for paint. It's always easier to add more than it is to take away. There we go. All around the brains. And got some carapace on this little tail thingy. These head tentacles or back tentacles. Alright, just gonna go over the rest of the carapace. Yeah, for being royalty-free music, this stuff ain't bad. I'm listening to it too. It's like old school metal. So much surface area on this carapace. So I gotta use big brush. So much room for activities. Paint. Yes. I'm gonna need some more paint. I thought 2 brush loads was enough, but I was wrong. Two more brush loads. And a little bit of water. Okay. Alright, so big takeaway is I need to know my lore better on what I'm painting. It's very shameful of me. And just gonna get these little baby T-Rex claws. Little baby claws. Careful, 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 careful. We got there. All right. As I go around, I just look for spots that have dried. I just quick slap a second coat or just a couple brush strokes on there to layer on as I go. So you go for a full smooth coat everywhere or kind of layer it on. I think that looks all right. Yeah, I love the way that pink red looks on that green. Something new I did for the Norn models. You want to start incorporating that more on some of these other creatures to give them some a little bit of variety, splash of color. My Tyranid army. Think for yourself. Right there with you. Slay the Gray. Yeah. What are you working on? Oh, the head looks dry. I think I can get another with a couple more coats there. Just gonna layer up a little bit more on the carapace. So we had some unseasonably warm weather today, which is good for priming. But unfortunately, I don't have anything ready to prime with rattle cans, so did not take advantage of the ideal weather. Okay. Butterfingers. All right. So this is still a little wet, but I want to add a little bit more, just a little bit more layers to it. So it's got the consistency of a wash. Maybe the paint was just a little too thin. Maybe I just need to be patient. Alright, so while that dries some more, I will touch up on the tail, the gray that I missed. Where are you? Get that out of my way. Mechanicus Standard Gray. That's what I've been using on the Scything Talons. This brush will do. In the chat or the comments, if you're watching this after the fact, let me know what your favorite 40k faction is. There you go, fixing my mistakes. Because I missed this earlier. Alrighty, there we go. Grays are all blocked in. All right. See my secret weapon for painting. Hair dryer. Works every time. look at that. It's all dry now. Mostly. I'm impatient, so I use a hairdryer quite often. So I can, it's especially good for washes. Contrast paints, because those take a lot longer to dry, and you can speed it up. Although you don't want to do it too soon. You gotta let it start to dry a little bit. Because if you do it too soon, it'll kind of blow all the wash away from where you want it. So it's got to start to cure a little bit, and then you just kind of finish it off with the hairdryer. And then get right back to painting. I'm all about that efficiency. Getting as much done as I can in the time we set aside to paint. Yeah, so I'm just not going everywhere, just kind of getting spots that look like they need just a little bit more of that Thunderhawk blue, or turquoise blue. Thunderhawk blue it's called. So yeah, there's like these raised areas up here, just kind of very loosely going over with the big brush, some paint. Almost over brushing, but it's definitely quite a bit on the brush. So quick layers. Get some of that detail stand out. Seems like it wants to focus there, and it focuses here, but not right here, which is comfortable for me to paint. And I'm just gonna touch up a little bit on these inner, what do you call these on the back? They're almost like exhaust vents. Spewing out chemical vapors. I don't know, whatever their bodies are metabolizing. Imagine they give off some pretty toxic exhaust fumes so all their weapons are organic. Alright. I think the Thunderhawk blue is almost done. I see a spot. I see another spot on the chest. Let's just touch that up a little bit. Get a little bit more. Oh darn. I just made a mistake. Gotta clean it up. Got some of the skin there, so we're just gonna clean that up with a wet brush. Just kind of wick that away. It's not perfect. But it's barely noticeable from a distance. Got most of it cleaned, and that's okay. It's good enough. Alright. I think I'm about done with the big brush for now, so just gonna quickly clean it off with my brush soap. Something I haven't been doing as much as I should be is cleaning off my brushes with the brush soap. This stuff is great. It's the the Master's Brush Cleaner and Preserver. You can get this on Amazon, or I'm sure a lot of online hobby or retailers sell them as well. Your local hobby store. They're good at working out the gunk that gets caught in the furrow. You can't really see it as well on the camera, but there's some blue discoloration in there I got from cleaning out this big brush. And then I just like to take a little bit of leftover and then work it in my palm. I'll spin it around to kind of reshape that brush tip, because it kind of works as a conditioner. Focus. There we go. And I'll just pop that back on there. Back in the jar it goes. And as soon as I put it away, I see some spots I want to touch up. So get a closer look at this. Well, I got a little bit of Thunderhawk blue on here, so I can just quickly do that. A little bit in here and in here. There we go. Getting a little nitpicky. Alright, so I think the next thing I want to do is we're going to work on some of these vents, and also like the kneecaps and inner fleshy areas. Yeah, like back here maybe. So for those, I just like to do in Xerxes purple. Nice deep purple color. Actually, you know what? I can go see what I remember how I painted that on my other one. I think it was purple. It might have been Screamer pink. Could run over and grab it, but I think I have a picture of it. Oh yeah, it was purple. Ah yes, I remember now. It's all coming back to me. Xerxes purple is the color. I mean, I could paint it something different, but I just want it to be consistent with my other Norn model. And the rest of my Tyranid art. Just gonna get a little bit of water, mix that in there. Now, I got a little too much paint on my brush. It's a little high, so I'm gonna wash that out. So it doesn't gather and clog up the furrow. Okay. So I'm gonna paint these connective tissue inner bits. This is a nice, really opaque paint, so even when it's fairly thinned down, it covers nicely, which is great. Because thinner the paint is, well, to an extent. When the paint's pretty thin, you can control how it flows easier, kind of comes off the brush nicer. It has a tendency to kind of just want to collect where you want it. So these colors that are nice and opaque, that you can thin down pretty well, are great for base coats and stuff like this, where you want to get it kind of in the crevices. Being a little sloppy in some spots, but you won't really notice it, I don't think. The little subtle mistakes. Alright, so it's kneecap. We're just gonna get that painted purple inside the knee bits as well. Yeah, it's very rich, vibrant purple. Colors are a little extra vibrant on this camera, but this adds a nice little pop of color to an otherwise pretty dark model. It's all about getting those contrasting colors playing with each other in the right spots. Bring the whole thing together. This guy's got like 2 Achilles tendons. He's got the beast feet. Gotta be very careful painting at an awkward angle here. Hard to see what I'm doing. Yeah, you can see my fingers real well, right? Yeah, getting back in here with the brush is kind of tricky. Okay. Oh yeah, and then we got these little bits right here. The focal distance of this camera. There we go. Just going to connect this. Make it some sort of muscle tissue that can stretch. Got a rubber band. There we go. I think that's... Oh, I missed the vents on this side. Just pick those out real quick. There we go. Clean out the old brush. Alright, let's do this big piece next. So we got some vents along the side here. That's not too bad. Some of the inside, actually, not a whole lot. We got these little orbs down here. Maybe I'll paint those purple. Look at these vents on the synaptic nexus, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just making up names for this body part. It does have something to do with synapse, though. It's got a brain. Kind of like the beholders, or not the beholders, the mind flayers, almost. From Dungeons and Dragons, or Baldur's Gate. Alright, the inner vents here. I like to start with the most annoying bits to paint and work my way out. Save the best for last. These vents. There we go. I think that's all the vents and inner fleshy bits on the torso. Just got the arms to do. There's probably some more in the base here. Yeah, I really don't know what to do with some of this. Probably have to come back to that. Scything Talon arms, though. The inner vents. Get that contrast going. This little bit that's holding the elbow talon. It's got these armpit fleshy bits. Gonna paint those purple as well. Basically anything that's a vent or connective tissue or under flesh, that gets colored purple. There we go. That's one Scything Talon arm done. Yeah, I really like that Screamer pink blended into the flesh. That's it's a neat look. My Hive Fleet paint scheme has slowly evolved over the years. Something very basic when I was a kid, which kind of continued. I got back into the hobby, but maybe in the last 6 months or so, 5 months, I've kind of tweaked it a little bit to what you're seeing here, and it all blends together still. They look like they're part of the same force, but you can definitely tell there's an update to the paint job, paint scheme, the recipe, whatever you want to call it. And I'm enjoying painting Tyranids again. Not that I wasn't before, but I've been learning new techniques and skills, and I wanted to apply them to my Tyranids, and I just wasn't before because I wanted it to be the same paint scheme, but I've kind of found a way to improve on the quality while also keeping them cohesive to the rest of my force. Maybe I'll do a video about that. About upgrading your paint jobs and going to the next level without having to repaint everything. We don't want that. If you're repainting, you feel like that's a step that you don't want to take. This is all about finishing things, not just redoing things and redoing things. Like finishing things and maybe coming back to them and making them better, but hopefully we're not stripping paint off and starting over all the time. Or you're comparing yourself to some pro painter on YouTube or Instagram. That's not healthy either. Just gotta paint. Learn, try new things, make some mistakes. Improve. Carry on. That's all you gotta do. So it's got like some other fleshy bits on the hand. I think I'm gonna actually make those Screamer pink. I'm thinking. Yeah, I think I'll make those Screamer pink. Because they're like part of the weapon. Not just this kind of like standard fleshy areas. This song sounds like a discount something. I can't quite put my name on it. Or a finger on it. Some kind of like alternative rock. Something. Ah, you know the thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna take. We're gonna focus on these hands because they're kind of interesting. They got some cool stuff going on. Looks like some toxic, poisonous bits. So. I'm gonna take Screamer Pink. I think I'm gonna do a blend. What happens if I make some Screamer Pink with this purple? Yeah. Okay. We get kind of like a... I like this. I actually like this. So about 50-50 Screamer Pink and Xerxes Purple. Get this kind of like purplish red color, which I guess makes sense because we are mixing a pinkish red with a purple. Yeah, quite profound. But it's an interesting mixture, and I think I can work with it. Just gonna get these kind of slice base color down there. Kind of winging this as I go. If you've never mixed paints before, I would recommend it. Just take two colors, mix them together 50-50, see how it looks, and then maybe add a little bit more of one or the other to kind of tune the shade to how you think. Do a little test area painting. You know, I could paint all over here and then decide, you know what, this looks bad. Paint over it. But I don't think this looks bad, so I'm gonna keep going. I like this. It's a little experimentation. Yeah, I like this. It's like a nice variation of purples, pinks, reds. Focus. Yeah. Let's do the other hand real quick while I got the mixture. I mean, it's really just Screamer Pink, just a little bit darker. Oh, I just had a cool idea. Put those little sacks on the hands. What if I give them like a light color, like a Wraithbone, a light cream tan color like Wraithbone, and then we do like a little wash with maybe Caribou and Crimson. So it looks like a pale, fleshy kind of color. And then we just paint those veins a contrasting color to tie it all together. I was gonna make them like a green toxic, but I think I wanna go this route. Also, real quick, while I have that mixture, I'm just gonna paint some of this stuff on the base that same color. Like some of these, the inner sides of these spore chimney things. Just so that everything's just, you know, black with a little bit of a green dry brush. Just want these to look real gross and kind of nasty. Because taking over and consuming everything it touches. It's organic growth. Because Tyranids are disgusting. Yeah, this is a nice shade. It's probably its own Citadel paint. But, you know, if you don't have all the paints, you can mix your own on the fly. You don't have to buy every single color out there. Although, if you find yourself mixing a lot the same color, then it might make sense to just pick up that paint. Save yourself some steps. These. Just taking advantage of that mixture while I have it on the palette, so I don't have to come back and do it later while it's still fairly wet, because there's not a whole lot on there, so that little bit on there is going to dry eventually. So I just want to quickly lay this base color down on the base. Then we'll go back to those cool hand weapons. There we go. Oh, we got one more I missed. He's hiding out in here. Just gonna get that pinked up. Yeah. Alright. Now back to these hands. I'm gonna do something fun with this. Just thinking about colors, I think Wraithbone, because it's a base color, which means it should coat nicely. I gotta give it a good shake. I don't have a vortex mixer. I'm not that fancy. Alright, so I'm just going to take a little bit of that, get it on the palette, add a little bit of water. I'm just going to very carefully. And you know what? If this looks bad, I'll just paint over it. I'll go with what my original plan was going to be. Just paint over it with some grays and hit it with the old Tesseract blue. But I'm going to try a different route this time. Make it look real gross. That's such a light color going over dark color. This is probably going to take at least 2 coats. So, trying to be neat here. It's okay if I'm not perfectly neat because I will be doing like a glaze or a wash over this. So that'll help kind of correct any coloring outside the lines mistakes. I guess we'll get down in here. So I'm thinking like a reddish kind of wash on there, and then maybe like green on the veins. Let's get the other one. Ever so carefully. Come on, focus. Just carefully get in there. Alright, now the first hand should be dry, so I'm just gonna go back in there and lay on a quick second coat. Just want it to be smooth. Get on the outside there a little bit. It's okay. Like I said, I think the wash will kind of blend everything together. still not perfect. I think maybe a third coat, I dare say. Slice. Second coat on this one. So, you know, the motto is, you know, 2 thin coats, but sometimes it's 3 thin coats. Sometimes it's 4 thin coats. Sometimes it's even 5 thin coats. Although hopefully that should be rare. You're doing 5 thin coats. And if so, maybe you need to think about a different primer color. Or layering up some base coats with darker shades to build up that color. Alright, so this is almost ready. Just gonna add one last little bit of coat on there. Now this looks like it's very almost out of place. It's just the stark contrasted color, but I think when this is all done, if I can do what I'm thinking in my head, make it happen, this will look really cool. We'll give it a go. I get the inner bulbous in the hand. Okay. Wash my brush out. Oh. Okay. Caribor Crimson, I think. I'm gonna shake this up real good. Oh, you know what? I also wanted to do it on here too. I think it'll tie it up together nicely. Just need a little bit more Wraithbone for that. While we wait for the hand to fully dry. Some water on there. Now I'm really hoping this is going to do what I think it's going to do when I cover it in the shade. But there's no way of knowing until we do it. So sometimes you're just doing a little experimentation on the fly. That's how some really cool stuff gets discovered. Just gonna quickly air dry that. And we're going to do a second coat of that real quick. I also want to get inside the little holes there. Those will look really cool once the shade gets in. Okay. And I'm just going to quickly Pick that with the secret weapon head rally. Alright, it's Caribor Crimson time. Caribird. And some of these paint colors, the names, they can be a bit much. But if you know the lore reference that they're pulling from, then you feel like one of the cool kids. So if this works and it looks really cool, I'm gonna have to do the same thing on these little bulbs on the tail, which I thought he had. That must be the Norn Emissary. They do have different tails, don't they? Disregard. Okay. Caribor Crimson. This is perfect. I can test it out on the base to see how it's going to look. I think we have a winner. It's disgusting. It's gross. I hate it. In a good way. I mean, if it wasn't disgusting, I think maybe I would have done something wrong. It's vile. In all the right ways. Go over the fleshy side of the spore chimneys with this. Kind of redden. So, for these though, do I want it to look like this? Or do I want to do a little bit more on the purple side? And I'm thinking, maybe I should mix the Druchii Violet with the Caribor Crimson. I'm just going to do that 50-50 mix, I think. I don't often mix shades. Ooh, yeah, this is good. I think this is good. I'm also going to add a little bit of water, just because. You can always go over it again if it's not potent enough. Now, try to decide if this is what I want. Yes. Yes, I think it is. It'll also look a little bit different when it dries. Remember that. So it's going to lay it on pretty thick. Some nice coloration in there. while that's drying, I have the Caribou Crimson opened up still, so I'm just gonna go over these bits with that. Add some shade. I have to find the right kind of color to contrast for those veins that are popping out. You know, I'm thinking just thinking maybe I might need to do a glaze. So what we got? I'm gonna try taking a little Slanesh gray and mixing in some Wraithbone. No, maybe this isn't. Oh, maybe. Okay, okay. I think I also add just a small dash of Screamer Pink and quite a bit of water to make this a glaze consistency. I'm just gonna try. Add a little bit of glaze. Is this helping it? You know what? It's not. I don't like it. It's gonna rub it off before it dries. You know what? I'm gonna stick with that, I think. Or maybe we just need some deeper violet at the base. I'm just gonna go with just Druky Violet. Oh yeah, yep. This is what I wanted. You can tell already. So maybe the 50-50 mix wasn't. Well. Yeah, that's how you learn though. Experimentation. I think the purple is what we want. That's what kind of ties it together while also making it look different. So just gonna go over that with Druky Violet. Down here too. And down here. Yeah, I think I like that. But we're gonna have to do, I think, some light colors on those veins. Possibly a green. What kind of green? Arsenic green, perhaps? Yeah. think that might do. Gotta get a smaller brush for that though. Yeah, I think a small layer brush ought to do it. Give this a good shake. Also, I should quickly make sure these are nice and dry. There we go. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this green, put it on the palette next to some of these other colors and just see how it looks. I want the contrast, but I also don't want it to look out of place, so I'm going to take a little bit of Wraithbone. Just mix a little bit in there to kind of make it a little pale. Maybe a little bit of that pink mixture as well. Alright, we'll see how this looks. Yeah, I think that works. I think that'll work. Just gotta paint those green veins on there. Yeah, what do you think? I like it. I'm a fan. Don't you like it when a plan comes together? Yeah. How about that? Disgusting, right? Gross. I hate it. Okay. I think it's time to bust out the old Nuln oil and do some recessed shading on the carapace. And give this a good shake. Get my shade brush. Get it nice and wet. Here we go. So normally with this, goal is to get it in all of these cracks and crevices. Now because I did the Inky by Darkness underneath, I think having this be thinner than normal, just gonna add some water, thin out the Nuln oil on my palette. I can just really focus on making sure it gets in the cracks, and then less worry about it getting all over the carapace, since we already have that nice variation in light and darkness from the darker base coat that I did earlier. So if this is my regular infantry where I would just do Thunderhawk blue over the black, I might just go over the whole thing with the Nuln Oil. But doing it this way, I think I just gotta focus on the recess areas. And then just let the work I did with the layering handle the rest, that part. Focus on these, recess areas and where the carapace shell bits kind of fold over each other. Get some more oil on the palette, mix with some water. Get her nice and thin. And then down back here where it's kind of shaded from being obscured, I'm just gonna liberally apply it in there because it'll act as like a shadow. I'll make sure I get all these little cracks. While also trying not to touch everything. Okay. Yes, I think it's starting to look how I want it to. Just want strong black in the cracks there. Recesses. Let's get down here on the chest. I'm gonna go over the whole thing with that. Yeah, you can see how that'll drastically darken it up. So let that dry, and we'll do. Oh, one other thing. I do want to go over all of the sighting talons just with straight up Nuln Oil. To break up that flat gray color. There we go. Alright. Let that sit and we'll move on. So on this, just going to do the same thing. Get a nice runny mixture. Make sure we get it in all the folds, the carapace. I'm just gonna kind of blend it up the back so it looks less spotty. I'm not worrying too much about feeling this all over just because it's very dark to begin with, and it kind of just adds some shadow, you know? That's okay. Benefit of doing dark Tyranids. They're a little forgiving when you're painting them. Yeah, it's a little thick on that shin guard. Oh well. I would be doing a highlight step afterwards to kind of tie it all together, make it pop, as they say. And I'm just gonna go over all the claws too and hooves with the Norn oil. Throw some shade. Get on the center here. Yeah, this is coming together quite nice. Just gonna shade all this. So when I was shading this, I saw we had all these little round bulb things here. I was wondering if I should give them this treatment. And I'm thinking maybe. Already got a little carried away with that. I don't want to be painting this thing forever, but I do want it to look cool. It's always the challenge, the right balance of detail while also getting things done. Because I have quite the backlog, and I would like to get things done so that I can work on other cool new things instead of working on the same model. So I'll see what I decide. Just gonna get all these scything talons with the Norn oil. The elbow talons. That elbow talon to this one. Always happens. I paint something and then I move on to the next piece and then I realize, crap, I missed something. Gotta go back. Story of my life. Alright. Yeah, I'm liking these claws. They're looking gross. I mean, Tesseract Gold is a cool color, and it would look good there. I don't know. I don't want to use it all the time because those technical paints, a little goes a long way. I've kind of seen what they can do with my neck rounds, which look great on the neck rounds, but I don't know. I just want to try some other things, you know. without relying on technical paints for everything. Okay, so we got the head is the last piece for the wash. Oh, I lied. There's still the base. Yeah. That Norn oil wash all on this carapace on the head, on his horns. All in the mouth and the teeth. Alright. We're just gonna get these spore chimneys, the carapace bits, the Norn oil. Alright, let's see here. You know what, I'm just gonna do that just real quick. I'm gonna give this the gross fleshy bulbous treatment. I go over these real quick with Wraithbone. I just love the way that turned out on the hand weapon. I think just the Drugy Violet will do the trick. It's always hard to know how shades are going to interact with the colors you throw them over. I thought it would need to be a little bit more red, but I was wrong. Not being the most neat because I know the shade will kind of cover up our mistakes. And I'm going to need some more Wraithbone. Oh, done with the Norn oil. I should close that so I don't spill it. I've never spilled a shade yet. And I aims to keep it that way. I done made a mistake. It's okay. I'm not gonna sweat about it. I'm moving a little quick, a little reckless. Okay. Oh, darn. I just broke my model. I busted off a flesh hook. I'll glue that back on. I'll glue that. Alright. Droopy Violet. Gross. Also applying this very, very thick. Because I want an extreme purple in the shades. And then just, you know, less extreme on the surfaces. Wow. And it is not disappointing. Look at that. Yeah, I really like that. That looks nice. Alright, I gotta quick fix my model before I lose that piece. A little bit of glue. I like to use the kind of glue that melts the plastic together. Some people like to use super glue. I prefer the chemical bond. Especially for stuff like this. These little spiky bits that break off. Nice chemical bond glue will rejoin the plastic as if nothing ever happened. Cool. Well, I will let that sit and dry. And I think that is where I will leave us tonight. Made a lot of progress on this. I think next up, I just got to do some highlights. Finish the base. And just some last, finishing details, glue it together, and I think that this sucker will be done. So I am shooting for next week Monday for the next live stream. There may be a conflict for happy hour, but I'll let you know on the community tab if I will not be streaming or if I will be streaming. So just stay tuned, and if you're catching this after the fact, thanks for watching. Check out the other videos on the channel, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.